Hey, welcome back, everybody. Here we are with Rod, and we've been sitting here rattling back and forth. Hey, got our new shirts. Look at that.
I like my shirt. I think maybe 3X.
I know 3X.
3X.
You
But
know
it's
what?
nice.
You know what
It's
I had
nice.
to be? I had to wet. You go in and wet it, but it'll take all damn day to dry because they're not
I'm
cotton.
not wearing my shirt.
They're not cotton, man.
I can just
So
sweat.
it's
I can just
stretch.
sweat it.
Yeah,
I won't
you
wet
just
mine.
sweat and stretch. Anyway, prejudice and racism here in the Philippines. Man, you guys are gonna love this discussion because I noticed it when I first got here, and he certainly has noticed it, not only because of his skin color, but the fact that Filipinos, there's this huge problem in the Philippines about dark-skinned Filipinos and light-skinned Filipinos.
And I would say probably hostile, meaning that we are so similar on how we feel about the skin thing here in the Philippines. You got all these companies doing skin whitening.
Yeah, skin whitening.
And in the States, Caucasian people want to be dark.
They sit out in the sun all day long and tan.
So it kind of baffles me on how how it works here, and I think it's unfair to the Zamarino. Did I pronounce it right? But the dark-skinned Filipinos, they feel so self-conscious about their skin, and it's actually beautiful. I don't get it. I think it's very unfair, but that should stop. That should stop. That's not right.
I remember when I first got here, when I first arrived, I was in a conversation with a dark-skinned, what I would consider a darker-skinned Filipino, and how she basically said no one wanted her because she was dark-skinned. And I've said, are you kidding me? You are absolutely beautiful. How can you not?
That's the craziest thing I've ever witnessed.
Isn't that a problem though here in the Philippines?
Yeah, it's a big problem, and again, you know, we have the same blood. You know, it doesn't really matter. I think it's sold in social media that skin whitening and all those products and injections and all those things to be fair, to have this skin color is it's a marketing tool, and it's very effective. But in the States, they want to be in the sun. They want to have the skin tone, the dark skin tone. You know.
Yeah, that's what they don't understand, folks. Listen, you Filipinos that are out there that are watching this programming, and I know in the next few months there'll be more and more that are going to be watching it because the marketing is just going to go off the charts here pretty quick. But you need to understand something. I'm light-skinned. He's dark-skinned. I get in the sun, and I get just as dark as he does. That's the reality of it. And you Filipinos that are dark-skinned, I don't know where in the world you have come up with the idea that having dark skin is a curse. But you need to stop, because some of the most beautiful people in the Philippines are dark skinned.
Yeah. But Patrick was just one with a dark-skinned Filipino, so that should tell you, you know, a lot. That hey, it's a beautiful thing to have dark skin or fair skin. It doesn't really matter. You know, that's the craziest thing I've ever really witnessed. That's one of the things. Now, we were talking a little bit about racism.
Yep.
Yeah.
Racism.
Yeah. When I first got here again, I noticed that coming across certain people, whether it be black or white, I'm perceived differently than I would be in the States. Meaning that I can be walking down the street and I would see a Caucasian guy or a black American, we would greet each other. I don't care how far away we are from each other.
Right.
But several instances where I ran into Nigerians, they won't make eye contact.
Other nationalities.
Yes, they won't make eye contact. They would go out their way not to speak. And because I was asked the question, what's the difference between the Nigerian here and the black American? Because they get confused, and I want to clear that myth up.
Get that cleared up right away.
Yeah, I'm going to clear that up. The Nigerians, and I have no, please, this is based on experience. I have nothing against Nigerian. I have some good friends in the States who are Nigerian, and some of them we do business with. The notion of how they perceive Americans in the Philippines, I don't know if it's they're intimidated or they just don't care for our culture, but they wear the culture of a black American, but it's dated, meaning they don't dress the same. It's like they dress like they're in the 90s. They're very flashy. They're very arrogant, and they don't talk to women the same. We're not the same. Okay, we don't treat people like that.
Do you think, or do you find that a lot of that has to do with the social media?
To some degree. I mean, like I said, it's just my experience, because like I said, I can be walking down the street and I will see another brother, and we would either dap each other or sometimes we embrace each other.
The reason I say that is when you walk around the Philippines and you see someone's television on, the programming that is being played is like it all came from the 70s.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like they've stepped back in time.
And how they embrace it
And how
it
they-
comes out.
right.
Yeah, I get that. And that's just one or two experiences that I've had that for some reason it kind of baffled me, and I explained it to the locals. You know, hey, because they would get confused. Are you from somewhere else?
Right.
And I would explain to them, no, this is how we are from the U.S. Because sometimes they get confused, even with the N-word I hear, and I get that from the kids. I don't get it from the adults. And if I do get it from the adults, we have an understanding, hey, this may be a term of endearment, or it may not if you don't know me.
See, and that is so, the reason I say, because in the U.S., when you talk about that in the U.S., they use the N-word in the U.S. now as a status.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
It's okay.
Ooh, it's hot in the Philippines.
But it's a status situation, and only a certain people are actually allowed to use that word.
Yes.
And if a white guy uses that word,
It's offensive.
it's very offensive.
Yeah. I've had kids do it, and what I would do, I would stop them and
Right.
say, hey, that's not a good thing to say. It's not cool.
It's not polite.
You're not cool. You're not, I don't, you're not being friendly
Rap.
with me. They think they are.
Yeah, rap music.
Yeah,
Certainly.
Yeah, they think they are, and I would stop them and explain to them and say, that's just like me calling you, and they don't like this word, bobo,
Yeah.
meaning stupid.
Yeah.
In Tagalog.
Yeah, right.
They don't like that. So when I compare and just take the time, and then they understand, like, oh, okay, we're okay. I get it from the kids. The adults don't do that. But,
Yeah, well-
and the kids don't know. They just going by what they said. They
That's
see on
what
social
it's-
media.
and not just social media, but rap.
Yeah, right.
The music.
Yeah.
The music industry over here is like they're 20 years behind in the times. It's absolutely unbelievable
It's about
to me.
education. It's about educating them on what these things mean.
That's
It's not-
correct.
it's
That's
not-
correct.
It's not appropriate.
Right. I tell people all the time, that won't fly over in the United States.
You know.
That won't fly.
And I would tell them, you say that to the wrong person, you could probably be hurt, or there's be some consequences because it's a very offensive word.
That is correct.
Yeah,
That is
very,
correct.
very offensive. And
But-
people are very careful about that. And the ones that are educated, I notice you guys don't dare say that. And if you do say it, you're already preparing me. Can I say this word? And they would, and it's respectful. It's very respectful
Right.
when they do it.
So two things that we've discussed in this discussion, that is the racism that is so prevalent here in so many different aspects, because unless you really pay attention to it, it's easy to not get caught up in it. But if you're out dealing with the general public, it's hard not to see the racism that goes on. And then the fact that the color of people's skin, which I thought we dealt with how many years ago in the United States?
You know what? Yeah, I've just never. I can count on one hand on when I felt anything locally as well as for myself on any type of feelings. I only had one situation that I felt like I was back in the States, and this is funny. I was driving. I heard, and I got startled because in the States, Black American gets stopped. And I got shook, and then I realized, shit, I'm not in the States, I'm in the Philippines.
That's
and
right.
It wasn't for me, and I just realized, wow, I'm okay. I'm in the Philippines, I'm okay. I was shortly traumatized by hearing a siren behind me, and it wasn't for me, but the idea that in the States, that's how it would feel.
You're just gonna get.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I
And
realized
that's something that goes off all the time.
man, and I realized, wow. That's what I said, wow, that's all I said.
All right, guys. Inspiration by Brad. Got to be inspired, man. Got to get up every day. Look for the joy and happiness in everything. Until our next conversation, which is going to be coming up soon. And we're going to be addressing all these things that are here in the Philippines, whether people like it or not. Inspiration by Brad. Thanks for being with me. We'll talk later.